Folks, I came across the story regarding the race for the position of mayor in St. Louis, and a couple of things troubled me. Now, the primary just took place, and a woman by the name of Lyda Krewson won the Democratic primary, which pretty much is gives her a lock for becoming the next mayor of St. Louis. Now, Ms. Krewson is currently an alderman for the city, and she ran against the city treasurer, Tashara Jones, and 4 other candidates. Now, bear with me, and I know what this is going to sound like, but to be honest with you, her being white, in my opinion, had nothing to do with this video or the outcome of that race. Excuse me. What troubled me more so than anything else was that there are approximately 200 to 250,000 registered voters in the city of St. Louis. Only 28% of the registered voters cast a ballot, which is, in my opinion, abysmal. Now, we just came through the election of the DNC chair, and Mr. Perez won. Now, all we heard during their campaigns, both he and Keith Ellison, was that they were going to concentrate on not just the presidential race, but the Senate races, the House of Representative races, the governor races, state legislature races, and all the way down to mayoral races. Well, if St. Louis isn't a high enough profile position as far as a mayoral race is concerned, I don't know what is. So where was Keith Ellison, where was Tom Perez when it came down to getting involved in this particular race? And in particular because it was a crowded Democratic field. So I don't know if they were basically giving lip service, because in their defense, they have shown up at various local races, and they have been successful in getting Democratic candidates in. But this one, they missed the boat on. Now, I'm pretty much ashamed of the black population that's in St. Louis, that only 28,000 people, 28% of the people came out to vote. St. Louis may not be a minority populated city, but it's damn close. It's got to be at least 40% or better minority population in St. Louis. So I'm going to apply that to the portion of registered voters. It hasn't been that long that Ferguson occurred. It hasn't been that long that the Justice Department came out with a report about all the stuff that was going on, and the fact that black people there weren't voting, they just didn't show up at the polls. It wasn't that long ago that in places like Cleveland and Chicago, where the minority vote was activated, that they were able to get candidates into office that better represented the people. It wasn't that long. So now St. Louis, you guys decided that things are, I guess you decided things are going well enough that you could sit on your hands or sit on your butts, stay home, and not cast a ballot. You cannot do that. You have to get out there and vote. Now, again, if let's say 50% of the population voted, I really wouldn't have as much to say. I would still be upset because I believe that we should all vote. No, we have to make a decision. You can't get out there and abrogate your responsibility. There may be two candidates running. You don't like either one of them, but guess what? One of them is going to win. So you need to put your 2 cents in. And yeah, maybe it is deciding on the lesser of two evils, but you have to make a decision. Now, with that being said, what the hell is wrong with these black politicians? I don't give a rat's behind as far as who won or who lost, but at least show the political awareness to realize that if 5 black candidates are running, you guys are going to split the vote and allow someone who can consolidate a certain segment of the population to win. Now, it was mentioned in this video that you're going to see with Roland Martin that they got a bunch of the black candidates together, okay, to discuss the fact that if they splintered the black vote, that none of them would win. But I believe that they should have pulled those people behind closed doors and basically told the people that had absolutely no chance of winning, and you know right off the bat, pretty much, if you have a chance of winning an election or not. And the bottom 3 people had no, and I do mean no, shot at winning, and they should have bailed their behinds out of the race early enough that the 2 top black candidates would have had an opportunity to do something. It would have pretty much guaranteed that one of them would have beaten out Ms. Ferguson, because she only was able to garner approximately 32% of the vote. But no, egos get in the way, or in this particular case, apparently got in the way, and everybody pretty much stayed in until the end, which basically meant that we were cutting our own throats. We have to learn how the game is played, and that's exactly what it is. It's a political game, and if you, being number 4 or 5 in a race, can't decide to get behind somebody that has an actual chance to win, then, you know, I don't know what to tell you, but all 3 of those people should have been chastised for staying in that race way too long and causing the 2 top African-American candidates running to at least have a decent chance. But again, it all comes back to organization. Now, I got to take my hat off to Ms. Ferguson. She was out there. She was able to raise, quite a bit of money. She was all over the community, and she got her 32% of the vote. Now, she just beat the city treasurer by 2%, about 888 votes. That's what she beat her by. If just 1 or 2 of those guys had dropped out, okay, and their votes went to her, she would have won. So, people, we got to wake up. I'm talking to everybody that is registered or can register to vote. Get your butts out there and register, and then get out there and vote. I do not want to hear, well, I'm not voting because I don't like either one of them. If there are 2 candidates running, one of them is gonna win. You have an obligation to chime in on which one does. And to be honest with you, if you don't vote, you basically should keep your mouth shut when anything goes down that requires the opinion of the person who wins the race. Just my 2 cents. But damn, people in St. Louis, just a shame.
St. Louis could have had a black mayor, but 5 African Americans ran for the Democratic primary, all lost in a tight battle, folks. Here are the numbers that took place on yesterday. Alderwoman Lila Cruson won last night in a very close race in a crowded Democratic field. Of course, you see the numbers there. She had, first of all, with precincts reporting, she had, first of all, folks, that's wrong. Okay.
All right, let me stop it there. That's wrong. Well, okay. Lida Cruson, she was the one with 16,222 votes, and Tashura Jones had 14,000. Actually, those numbers are absolutely wrong, because the difference, and I just reviewed it, the difference in the race was only 888 votes. It wasn't even 1,000 votes. So the percentages are right. Cruson got 32%. And Jones got the 30%, but the numbers are wrong. I believe Cruson got the 16,222. Jones got 888 votes less, so that would have been 15,000, about 15,500. So the numbers are less. But again, look at Lewis Reed. He got 9,700, if that number is right. And Antonio French got 8,400, if that number is right. Either one of those guys drops out, and odds-on favorite that Tashura Jones would have won that race.
Can't have a Democratic candidate win with 14,209 votes and another candidate lose, get 16,222 votes. So that graphic is wrong. Cruson won. Tashura Jones actually came in second. She lost by about 1,000 some odd votes. She's a city treasurer and former state representative in St. Louis. Lost by less than 2% to Cruson. Also, of course, many folks know Antonio French, who gained national popularity, of course, after what took place in Ferguson. He came in fourth there as well. But what's more troubling, only about 50,000 residents in St. Louis voted in the Democratic primary, and a significant black population. Let's go to a pastor who is there. Of course, he's there with the National Action Network. Joins us now via FaceTime in St. Louis is Reverend Carlton Lee. Reverend Carlton Lee, first and foremost, did anybody say having 5 black candidates in the race was going to likely split the black vote, therefore making it hard for an African American to win the mayoral race?
Man, you know what, Roland? First, I want to say good morning to you. Enjoy your show. Love talking to you. Number one, yeah, there was conversation about it. A very good friend of mine, attorney Gerald Christmas, was one who was very vocal about it. He said 5 candidates, we all need to just come together and at least figure out who would be the best candidate to serve the African American community as well as the city of St. Louis as a whole. And we just couldn't get it together. Tashura said it actually yesterday that, you know, if some of the men in the primary race, that they would have just got out a lot sooner, we would have not had this type of issue. And it was almost like a crab mentality in politics again.
But what in the world? 50,000? That's it? Because the reality is here. Whoever wins the Democratic primary runs against a Republican candidate April 4th for the general election. But whoever wins the Democratic primary in St. Louis is the next mayor.
Pretty much so. Pretty much so. And Lida Cruson is exactly the exact replica of the current mayor that we have now, Mayor Francis Slade. Same policy ideas, nothing innovative, nothing new. It's just the same mundane task that will be handed, and tax abatements for the rich and the property developers. But, you know, she has one issue where she wants to criminalize being homeless. So we're going to run these same exact issues that we've been seeing the last 16 years. We're more than likely going to see them for the next 4 years if Lida Cruson gets in.
And so, what's next? I mean, are black leadership in St. Louis having post discussions? Do they plan to have those today, saying, guys, look, if we want to talk about how do you change things, It's not gonna happen running 5 folks for a Democratic primary.
Absolutely, man. You know, and I believe that should have been a conversation that should have been had prior to this primary election, but it's definitely one that is needed now. I think everyone has gotten their political spotlight. They've gotten the spotlight on them, and I think now we should come to the place of sitting down at a drawing board and figuring out, okay, what does the leadership in St. Louis, number one, what does it look like? Number two, what is our ask? You know, I think we need to sit down and really have a roundtable discussion with the leaders in the city of St. Louis, as well as those up and coming leaders in the city of St. Louis, to find out what direction we would like to see the city to go forward from here.
Reverend Carlton Lee, appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Go to our panel.
All right, look, this is what I think also should potentially happen. Now that this particular outcome is set in stone, here's a novel idea. Why doesn't Ms. Jones run as an independent? Okay, I pretty much guarantee that even though some of the Democratic vote would be splintered, if she runs as an independent and they get out there, get some money raised, okay, and get commercials and etc. Out there, I think that she would have a good, if not great, opportunity to win that race as an independent. Just my thoughts. Now, where is the National Action Network? Where are the people that are thinking about stuff like this? Nowhere to be found. And obviously, Perez and Ellison couldn't or shouldn't really get all that involved if that's the line that's taken, because they in fact might be able to swing enough votes away from Ms. Jones that again, you may have a splinter effect. If they stay out of the race and Jones runs a smart independent race, the Democratic vote more than likely would shift over directly to her, because she could indicate that she just didn't believe in the policies of the Democratic candidate, and could put out her policies, which would hopefully be more people-centric, and be able to swing enough votes to win that election. Just my thoughts, okay? And I could be wrong, and it again could be a splinter effect where she pulls off enough votes from the Democratic candidate to allow the Republican candidate to win. But that's what polling is for. So, just my thoughts on what the possibilities are here.